Hey everybody, I wanted to show you this little project that I've been working on. I had this 2-inch quad that was sitting around that wasn't really seeing enough use, and when Runcam announced that they had a new Split Mini coming out, I thought I'd give it a try with this little guy, see how it worked. However, I had to make some significant changes to the design of the frame as it was originally. This started out as an Eachine 120, and as you can see, if you're familiar with that frame, the entire top of it is now missing. I'll see if I can find a picture of what it looked like before the modifications and put it up here so you can see how different it is now. I designed and printed this 3D printed top plate that would allow me to mount the camera and give some more clearance for this very tall stack in the middle. As you can see here, let me zoom in. See if that will focus up okay. I'm using 35mm standoffs, so the same as what you would see on most 5-inch quads, to be able to get all of that hardware in there. And that's going to be one of the primary issues that you come across when trying to use this camera on a build. Generally speaking, 2-inch frames are fairly small and don't have that much clearance, so that's something you have to take into consideration when making the design choices and deciding what kind of frame you want to fit this in. Instead of the single board of the other Runcam splits, you can see these top two boards, if you can see here, are now required for the camera instead of just the one single board. This is how they got it to fit on that 20mm stack, and it is pretty impressive. Let's see if you can see the other side. On this side you can just barely see, here's the USB on the bottom, which is smack up against the other USB for the flight controller, and this side has the SD card slot, the mode buttons, and the record button. I haven't changed any of the settings in here. I've just been using the automatic record as soon as the power comes on at 1080p 60 frames per second. I have some footage from the camera to show you just a little bit later and talk about what I think of the overall image quality. But first I want to mention that after flying this particular design, this configuration of parts, I've decided that I need to go back to the drawing board and try something a little bit different. The first thing that I noticed when flying this is that the powertrain is just not up to the task of carrying its additional weight of this camera. It's still a lot of fun to fly. Going in and out of trees is a lot of fun, but any power-hungry moves like punch-outs or power loops, I was pushing the voltage of the 3S pack down into the low 8-volt range, which was just far too low for what I wanted to do, and was a little bit uncomfortable. I was concerned a couple times that the system would just power down from that much draw. So I've decided to build a new frame based on a 3-inch, and hopefully that will make it just a little bit more punchy, a little bit more like flying my regular 5-inch, which is really what I wanted to do this for, is I wanted to have a small frame that would be easy to take everywhere. I could fly in places that wouldn't really be intimidating or cause much of a nuisance to anyone around. But I'll show you that part of the build in the part 2 of this video. Once I get all the parts and I have time to build it, I'll show you guys what I did, see how it all goes together, and give you a follow-up on that hopefully in the next week or two. So let's have a look at the HD footage and see how it is. I'm going to leave the original audio in here so you can hear what it's like from the onboard microphone, although I don't really see much use, and it is pretty tinny and hollow, so it's probably best avoided in any case. This video is unretouched in any way, it's just straight off of the camera itself. And the first thing you'll notice, I think, is that the colors and the contrast are pretty fantastic. The wide dynamic range is quite good at maintaining that shadow detail right there in the shadows, even with the sun directly behind the tree. I was actually pretty impressed. The video quality is quite good. There's a bit of jello you can see in the footage, especially when moving smoothly through the trees. I'm not sure that's something that I'm going to be able to find a fix for, but overall I think I was pretty impressed. We'll see how it is in the next build of the 3-inch, if I can get it to be any smoother, but overall it's pretty great. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. I hope it was informative, and as soon as I get the next parts in for the 3-inch, I'll put that video together and let you guys know how it works. I think the takeaway from all this is that although it is technically possible to fit the Runcam Split Mini on a 2-inch frame, it may not be the best option. It may even be better to run the Runcam Split Mini, or the Runcam Split 2, even though it has a larger board. It only has one board, so it requires a shorter stack. So just keep that in mind if you're going to start doing your own build. Either option can work if you're willing to make the modifications to whatever your frame design is. But I'm interested to see how the new design will work out. And I'll see you guys soon once I have that all put together.